Severe tropical storm Opong is expected to become a typhoon very shortly, and we're going to give the update. The international name is Bualoi, something like that. You don't need a typhoon. Typhoon designates the wind speeds, basically, but you can get a lot of rain. And we've had a lot of rain in various parts of the Philippines for the last couple of months. Lots of flooding, even right now, down in various parts of Mindanao. And anyway, I'm going to show you a couple charts before I get into the specific details about this severe tropical storm that is going to hit the central area primarily of the Philippines, and we'll get into the details. Anyway, this is a chart. I get many people asking me, when is typhoon season? And this is some averages over the years, and I don't remember how many years this was, but generally you can see January, February, March, April, May, very few. Typhoon, hurricane, you call back in the West, can happen any month. But the darker the color, that's category 5. The darkest color, category 5, the highest. Then category 4, category 3, category 2, and then much smaller ones below that. So generally, June, July, August, September, where we're at now, and October. We just a few days ago, we had a super typhoon touch the northern end of our northern island of Luzon, and did some major damage. I think there was like 3 or 4 people killed in that. Even then, it went on to hit Taiwan and China, and I believe there's I think it's like 16 people. I think a dam broke in Taiwan and killed like 16 people, something like that. But you can see as we get into October and then November, they drop way off generally, and December, usually January, February also. And December, just a few years ago, December 16th, 2021, Super Typhoon Odette, international name Rai, came through the central Visayas, the central area of the Philippines, including Cebu, and did major damage, and went through that. And we had a couple of weeks where electricity was on again, off again, because our getting diesel for our backup generator was a little difficult, I understand. And this next chart, and I've done many videos over the years, and yeah, if you like this kind of video, please subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, helps the algorithms. But I've done other more in-depth risk type videos on my membership site, a lot of different information. Anyway, this shows where, through the many different years, where they hit primarily. They usually go northwest, and that top line is Luzon. The next line there, which crosses over the other line, is southern Luzon. So Luzon, the northernmost island, gets most of the typhoons. And they vary greatly. You can see the graph going up and down. The more numbers, different years. So it's not. You can come up with averages, but really doesn't mean that much. And then the next line down, the red line, is the Visayas, the central area of the Philippines. And then the green line is Mindanao, which gets very few. Very few, but you don't need, there again, you don't need a typhoon, hurricane, to have major flooding, major damage, that type of thing. So anyway, let's get into the details of this particular storm. We're going to do an update on the Typhoon Opong, Bualoi, something like that, is the international name. And we're at Pagasa, the agency, Philippine agency that tracks weather here in the Philippines. And we've got this red line here is the Philippine Area of Responsibility. And when you look down from your airplane flying in and out, you look down, you're not going to see that red line there, just for your information. but it is imaginary line, includes Taiwan up here, and a little bit hard to see the Philippines in green here, but the Philippines is in this area, and this Philippine area of responsibility. The international agencies track storms coming in off the Pacific, or South China Sea, West Philippine Sea, and they give it one name. In this case, Bualoi, I think something like that. And then when it crosses that red line, the Philippines changes the name. In this case, Opong. And anyway, Opong is in. Here it was a tropical depression, and then it turned into a tropical storm, and severe tropical storm there, and then it turned into a typhoon, September 25th, 2 p.m. right there. And it's going to, they've got these numbers here are the legend that they use, the various levels. The higher the number, the more the warning is. So anyway, you've got basically a typhoon that's going to hit, I think tonight, 26. Let's see, it's the 25th now, so either late tonight or early Friday. I'm not sure exactly when it's going to hit, but they've got signal 2 up in the Bualoi region, and region 5 there, Bualoi, Alboy, Camarines Sur, Catanduanes, Masbate, Sorsogon, number of different areas. General flooding advisory in the Metro Manila area. And that can change as the typhoon moves through anyway. So anyway, let's go over to one of my favorite sites, which is windy.com. This is a free site. You can download the app on your phones, Apple or Android. And this is what just shows a ton of information and much more. I can hit the slider down here, and because I'm a premium member, I pay, I don't know, $30-$40 a year, something like that, I think, because they put out so much information. And I can drag this out and see what happens over time. So that is Thursday, today, 3 p.m. It is making landfall there. And if I go up here to the menu, and they've changed these things around a little bit. Hurricane Tracker. All right, Hurricane Tracker, and they're tracking 7 different hurricanes in the world right now. Hurricanes, typhoons, we call them typhoons here. And this is the one we're looking at. You can use this app all over the world. And this is western U.S. and Mexico area. This is the Atlantic, off of Cuba and Florida. Anyway, this is the one that just came through the Philippines. It's hitting China right now. And anyway, let's hit this one, and we'll get the track here. And it shows the projected track and the times that it's going to hit here. So this is Friday the 26th at 5 a.m. So it's either, and you've got a number of different, go down here at the bottom, you've got a number of different, you've got the ECMWF. These are agencies that have different models, and each model is a little bit different, has a little bit different track, a little bit different timing. And so yeah, even with, it's been many decades since I had meteorological courses in college. And there is just enormous amount more data out there, but still, it's not perfect. Long ways from being perfect. There's so many forces in the air, the lower atmosphere, middle atmosphere, upper atmosphere, with the sun's energy, various things happening with the sun, how the sun affects the earth, the sea, the currents, the temperatures, so much that goes into this. And each agency comes up with a little bit different forecast of what's going to happen. And they don't think it's going to turn into a super typhoon, but it's going to be a typhoon. And 56 mile per hour winds, and you can change this. It comes up in kilometers per hour, but I was able to go down here, and you can change a lot of your how you want to see things. So 56 mile an hour, 65 out here today, 65 mile an hour winds. So it's something to be aware of, and you don't need typhoons, hurricanes. Basically, have to do with the wind speed. You can have a lot of rain in a short period of time and have some major flooding that will do a lot more damage than a typhoon or hurricane. And how many of you have experienced a hurricane or a tornado? I've experienced a couple tornadoes. Heard one go over our house when I was in high school. Man, it sounded like a freight train going over. We were very fortunate. I think it took some shingles off, but that was all. It was above ground apparently, and took quite a few trees out from our grove. But back in, gosh, I forget the year, right around 1990, I was going to visit my daughter in North Carolina, USA, and Hurricane Hugo was coming in. There was a bumper to bumper people leaving the area, and I was driving into that area. And no hotels open. I ended up sleeping in my car that night. And about 1 in the morning, man, it's like a giant lifted up my car and started shaking it. 92 mile an hour wind, something like that. And in the morning, huge I-beams for the signs, the billboards twisted like pretzels. Have you experienced a hurricane? Have you experienced tornadoes, other huge weather events? Then I have a new appreciation, a very humbling experience. But anyway, the next few days, September, later today, September 24th, 25th, 26th, it's going to have some major impacts on parts of the Philippines. And we are not, I'm going to get out of this screen. I'm down here in Cebu City. We experienced Super Typhoon Odette. Gosh, what was that? December 2021? 20? God, I forget. Anyway, somebody will remind me. And yeah, it was. I thought our balcony windows and doors were going to come in. They were getting pelted so hard with the wind and the rain. If you're going to settle down in the Philippines or anywhere, do some research, and I will link to my weather videos. I've done a number of videos here just a couple months ago. I did where I talk about the typhoon seasons. What months do most typhoons hit? Where do they hit? Where do the hardest ones hit? Oftentimes they go north. They'll come into the Philippine area of responsibility, but then they move north. And the last one, a couple days ago, just clipped the northern part up here. You've got a lot of islands up here too, Batanes Islands and others, and came across here, dumped a lot of rain in the northern part of Luzon. Got Manila down here. This typhoon very likely will pretty much go right over just south of the Manila area. Dump a lot of rain in that whole region up there. That whole region, metropolitan Manila area. So will that have effect on the, will that have a major, will it cause some additional action with the forces of nature? Will that affect Taal volcano, which is down here in the Batangas area? Very active volcano. Very likely it could have some effect on that. It had, I think they had some little volcanic earthquakes here in the last week or so. Would those stresses put some additional stress on that volcano as well? Little things like that. Got 3D view down here that you can go into. You get the round Earth, a little bit of a better idea how these weather systems come in off the Pacific. The cold air, they hit the warm waters around the Philippine Sea, and they can go from a storm to a typhoon, even a super typhoon, within 24 to 48 hours. And I've seen that happen. First couple of years I was here, I stayed up till 3 a.m. because I read about there's a typhoon coming across. And in the end, in my area, it just turned into some rain showers. Nothing. But 2013, there was a super typhoon, Hainan. They call it Yolanda here. Came through the central Visayas, central area of the Philippines. And yeah, you can use this all over the world. See what's going on. You've got, I don't know if this hurricane strength yet out here in the Atlantic, the United States here, of course. You can zoom in and track weather all over the world, see what's going on. I grew up here in Minnesota, sometimes called Mini-Colda, one of the coldest states in the country. And too cold for me, too long. I moved down to Arizona. That's interesting. They're in the desert. They are finally getting, I think they're in their monsoon season as well. They get what little rain they get in the desert, they're getting in these couple of months here. I think August, September, if I remember right. I got a subscriber down here in Tucson, and I've got family who lives in Arizona, and they're telling me, yeah, it's been really a dry year. Well, every year's a dry year. Some years are drier than normal in the desert. And I've lived up here in Vegas, same thing. You know, they plan these cities, but they don't plan for large amounts of rain. Half an inch of rain will cause a lot of flooding. And especially these dry riverbeds, people camping there, and they'll get washed away. So anyway, what's going off the coast of California? I don't know if they've had any snow in the mountains. I think they have. Some of the mountains up here in western, I think they've had some snow already this year. Not positive. And then you got the East Coast over here. You got Florida, the Gulf Coast. A lot of these hurricanes will come in and hit the southern Gulf states, or they'll come in across here, hit Cuba and other islands, and sometimes they'll veer back across Florida. I've got a friend who lives down in this area, so I watch that area as well. Anyway, thanks for coming along. Stay safe out there wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you in the next video.